Welcome back to Tu-Vie, your TV movie entertainment needs channel. And today we are talking about the Avatar Last Airbender TV series from Netflix. I wanted to take some time, formulate my thoughts, really actually watch the show, give some other people some time to watch it, and then do this video. So with that being said, let's get into it. Before we begin, I will be doing my spoiler-free review, so if you want to not see the spoiler stuff, go to this timestamp right here if you want to either skip to the spoiler stuff, and then there'll be another one if you want to just skip to the end past all that stuff. So here we go. I'd like to first start off and say what I did like about the show. I liked how this show was done production-wise. I felt like the sets were really, really good. The costume design was really, really well done. The elements themselves when they were bending are really terrific. Air was incredible to see. Water was really good, and especially fire. Earth had its moments, when it was really quick, but I feel like Earth is sadly the one that is my favorite, is also the one that is hard to do. I did like the cast. The cast was absolutely stellar. Everybody had a few moments that reflected the actual animated character that we're all comparing these people to. And I felt like everybody really stepped up and did exactly what we were wanting to get from the character, especially Dallas, who was playing Prince Zuko, who did an incredible job as Prince Zuko. I mean, really, you can signal out every single individual, and there were a lot of moments, or even in the entire show, that was really great for them playing the character they are actually playing. Especially Ian, who was playing Sokka. There were a lot of moments that reminded me of Sokka, similar to Dallas, that reminded me a lot of moments of Zuko. So it kind of was going back and forth between who was doing a great representation of the animated character, while then, at the same time being their own character. And it was a really good way to make the character feel original while inspiring it off an animated source. What I also liked about the show is that it made it easy for people who didn't watch the animated series get into the show. Like, you didn't feel like you had to have watched the animated series in order to get this. And I know that's kind of the whole point, is they're doing a live action remake of this. But as I spoke with people who didn't watch the animated series, who did watch this show, they still got the point. They still got the premise. They missed out on a lot because of the show is vastly different than this one, but it's still good to see that these people were given a chance to get a new look into the medium, into the source material. I thought a lot of the action sequences was really, really good. I really did think the choreography was really great. I think the Avatar state looked really good in live action, especially this one with the destruction of Aang at the Southern Air Temple. It was a hard moment to watch, and it was great getting to see Monkey Atso's relationship with Aang a lot more deeper in this show, because Netflix gave the creatives a chance to show more stuff that we didn't necessarily get to see a lot of in the Nickelodeon show. I think it was interesting showing the assault on the air monks in the show, because Nickelodeon probably wasn't allowed to show that stuff. So with Netflix allowing darker moments into the show was really interesting, to setting the tone for both the Fire Nation and the Avatar, and just creating the overall effect for this show. So I was really glad to see that they were allowed some creative freedom with this. With the cast being absolutely incredible, the action sequences being done perfectly, the characters and the actors did an absolute great job creating the seamless connection between animation and live action. And I think creating a new medium for this source material is great for all things. And that's what I really did enjoy about the show. But with all the good, there comes some bad. Not bad. It's just like, what I really didn't like about this. What I didn't really like about this show is the change. I didn't really like all the changes, but I'm coming at it from this place of, I grew up with the animated show. Like, I was watching the season finale on an old TV that had static being felt from 20 meters away, and just, the big back end, like a big, huge block TV. So seeing this show from a literal little kid to, being rewatched a dozen times over as I grew up, it's really hard not to compare the animated show, as it is the gold standard for this show, and feel a little let down, because the animated show is perfect. And I feel like the need for a live action remake isn't necessarily there. It's not like the show itself is losing popularity. It's still wildly popular. I'd argue it's more popular now than it was when it ever was finished back then. Because, back then when season 3 ended, they shortly did that. I think they did a live action movie. Can't really remember. But everyone knew about this show. And I think, as time went on and people started showing more and more people, of course, the popularity grew. But it's not like the popularity of the show was ever on a decline. It was never something that was becoming lost to time. So I think doing the show to do this show for the sake of doing it, I don't I don't really know why. I don't really know the reason why they did do this show because, like I just said, it's not because of the popularity or it's not because people forgot about it or they thought that this show needed some kind of revival. It's the fact that I just really can't put my finger on it. I don't think adding specific characters or taking away moments for specific characters was necessarily needed. Like Sokka, like they changed the way his character development is in the entire show. Where I I really have never said this sentence, but the lack of sexism from Sokka's character and just kind of having the smaller moments of his character development throughout the show, I don't necessarily think was the best idea because Sokka goes from this, hard-headed, stubborn kid who thinks he knows everything, and from like episode 3 and so on that entire season gets his ass handed to multiple times by various different women that are much more skilled than him. And from there takes those lessons of like, man, I don't know anything. And especially with the Kyoshi Warriors on Kyoshi Island, that is a pivotal moment. But it felt like they didn't take the time to show Suki and his relationship build over time, where she wasn't really fond of Sokka as a person because of his stubbornness. And that when he does go to Suki and be like, you know what, I don't know anything. You are much more skilled than me. Please teach me. And that's when their relationship, just as friends, starts to build and they break down his walls, which is great. But it feels like they were rushing a lot for the sake of the story. And the fact that Aang never really got to be a kid. I like that. Yes, the kid had great energy, but it wasn't the same. Like seeing that progression of Aang go from this kid to realizing the struggles and the weight of being the Avatar throughout that season was super important. Now I get it. They can't do like I think it was 13 episodes per season for the animated show. So I think it was like maybe 6 or 8 for the live action show. And they cut down a lot of what that show had for the sake of storytelling. And I get that to an extent, but it just didn't feel the same. It felt like they were changing the wrong things for a good reason. It's not great to always see those things in a time where people need to be more represented. But it's very different when you take a look at it from the point of the story. Actually, one thing for good, I did love the way they showed the koi fish spirit. The I think it was like the moon spirit. Yeah, it was the moon spirit. At the end of book 1 when he was going crazy on the Fire Nation. That was a very good moment. And I liked how there was moments in the animated show like the moon turning red in that season, and then in this show they actually did that really really well. So it's like they took the right elements with the show. Overall, I want to say that this show isn't terrible like as a show standpoint. It's not like hard to watch. It is hard to watch when you are comparing it side by side with the gold standard, which is the show. So I didn't hate my time watching it. I did enjoy a lot, but I didn't enjoy a lot more than what I didn't like. If that makes sense. So that kind of wraps up the spoiler-free part. I'm going to be going into spoiler territory. We are in spoiler territory. Welcome to spoiler territory. I did not like the fact that so many heartfelt moments in the animated show did not even have an ounce of it in the live action show. Like the biggest example I can think of is Boomy's reunite with Aang. They had that moment at the end of the episode for good reason. And they have Aang face the Mad King, find out he's an airbender, and they have him do all these stupid tasks and all these different jokes. And he has the threat of Katara and Sokka being entrapped in the rock. Then you find out, like, what's my name? And the whole thing was just Boomy having fun with his friend and testing and showing that, like, you got these skills and everything. Just don't, mess this up. And welcome back, old friend. Like, this whole thing at the end was so perfect. But just to throw it all away in the first 2 seconds of them meeting each other was so dumb. And the tests weren't even that, like, they weren't that nerve-wracking to watch. Like he did the rock candy joke in a very blasé way, and it just didn't feel right. The fighting between Aang and Boomy was interesting. They had some fun moments there, like when he did the flip over the rock. but the effects were just not that perfect. Like I said a second ago for the spoiler free part, rock earth is apparently the hardest element to do in FX, so it is what it is. As much as I understood why they had to change Aang doing all the side mission stuff for the sake of the story. I do wish we kind of got more than just like, oh, wasn't it the same kid that was top of the volcano, or oh, he did the Grand Canyon thing. Like just saying it doesn't necessarily kind of show like why they did these things and what happened. So, especially the volcano one where he stops a volcano from erupting all by himself is so cool to see. And we didn't get that. And we even just got some interesting things like how Katara and Sokka both went into the spirit world with Aang. And I didn't like how he had to go to specific shrines of past avatars in order to communicate with them. I did love seeing Avatar Kyoshi. Seeing Avatar Kyoshi on screen, wow, that perfect. Both in casting, both in how they, just showed how cool she is. She is the coolest avatar. She's the best avatar, hands down. But I didn't like how they changed the point of the avatar state being this sense of support for Aang, no matter where he is, and he doesn't have to go far and travel distances just to speak with past avatars. Now, was it interesting to see avatar statues in their respective places, like Avatar Kuruk and everything? Yes, especially Avatar Yang Chen from the Air Temple. That was awesome to see. I liked how we got to see the past 4 avatars leading up to Aang. That was really cool to see. But I didn't like how they changed the point of the avatars. They even made Roku a jokester, and Roku was not a funny character. Like just he didn't make jokes. He didn't do that. He was a very serious and stern character. He was something that Aang used for support heavily, and they didn't bother kind of showing why. Like they just used him for Koi or Ko. Ko was good. Ko was real good. I did like how George Takei made the character creepy. I liked how they did the swapping of the faces when he was showing the different people he stole. It was a very unique thing. I liked Ko. It was a really, really well done. But back to Katara and Sokka being in the spirit world, that made no sense. Like I get they wanted to do the UA tease, but that was from the swamp episode, I believe. And it just wasn't done the same. It felt like they're trying to include these different things and create these new things for, like I said, a way for people to get into the source material. But it just felt weird. And especially with the spirit world having Washi Tongue, the person of the knower of 10,000 things or whatever, the giant owl that's supposed to be in the library in book 2, showing up in the spirit world. I don't know if they were doing that because they weren't certain they were going to make it to season 2 or book 2, which now they have confirmed that books 2 and 3 are happening. So if they mess up Toph, boy, am I going to have a real hard time just watching this, because that's the one character I pray they don't mess up. She's my favorite character in the entire show. I hope they don't mess this up. I really do. But I seriously just don't get the fact that they included these other different characters for the sake of including other characters for the sake of including other characters. Like, I didn't think he added any value. He gave a little warning to Aang saying, stay on the yellow brick road. And then that was it. That's just that. Now, Heibai was cool. Heibai looked real good. Heibai was a very good and well rendered character. So was June's little thing. Also, June. She was a really good actor. They picked a good choice. But a lot of things that just felt wrong about the show was that they were altering different moments in the show that made what this show so popular and so heartfelt for. And I didn't necessarily like that. I love the way they did the sage on the northern Wada tribe and how they added the effects of the red moon after it was killed, and then it lost all its color when black and white, and they had the moments of color when it was the fire and all these different things. That was really well done, and I really do think that was a good choice on how they did that. But I found myself comparing a lot to what this show was doing from the animated show, and which may have brought a sense of unfairness, and that could be the case, but it just didn't feel like the same show. And the people who never saw the original show still liked it, and I'm happy for them, but it felt just off with me. Nothing I would change about the cast. I really didn't think that they were a problem at all. I think they really did absolutely incredible. It was just the format of how they did their storytelling and what they chose to include and how was mainly my issue. Overall, I gave the show like a, that's kind of my rating. I probably, will watch books 2 and 3 if they're done right, because They're gonna really have to make that last fight look real good, and they're gonna have to not make Toph suck. They can't take away anything that she did in that show. The small moments you see her do the metal bending, like the seismic sense, or her fight off the other Earthbenders for the championship, and these moments of her wanting to escape the palace life is perfect. Please don't change this. Overall, like I said, what were you guys' thoughts about the show? Comment below. If you guys did enjoy the video or the review, please leave a like and subscribe. We have a lot of good reviews and stuff coming up. A lot of fun videos coming up in episodes. So if you guys haven't checked out the Tu-Vie podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, go check them out there. We have some episodes of season 3 on the YouTube, a little bit of episode or season 2, but they're all from seasons 3 to 1, going to be on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. So go follow us there. If you also want to check us out on the day-to-day stuff, go follow us on Instagram and TikTok. I post a lot of fun stuff there. For the time being on TikTok, I don't know what's going on there, but we're definitely going to be posting a lot of stuff on Instagram. So be sure to check us out there. And check us out on Letterboxd. I've been posting some new lists that I've made, especially a list called the movies I disliked. So be sure to check us out, check that out, and tell me how wrong I am. Thank you guys again for watching. We'll see you guys next time.